Hello everybody, and thanks for tuning in. Today I have another really cool bike to show you. I just picked this up this week to be part of my collection. It is a 1991 Wicked Fat Chance. This is my first Fat Chance in my collection. I've always wanted one. They are a great handmade US frame with a lot of pedigree. If you don't know a lot about Fat Chance, they were started by Chris Chance. Chris started making frames in 1977, and he made his first mountain bike in 1982, and then he started Fat Chance and Fat City Cycles. It was based in Somerville, Massachusetts, throughout the 80s and the early 90s. In 1994, the company was sold to a holding company who also owned Serrata Cycles, another handmade East Coast bike company. And production was moved to New York, where their bikes were still made. Now, this is a Wicked Fat Chance. So the first Wicked would have came out in 1987. And the difference between the Wicked and the Fat Chance is the Wicked is a little bit quicker steering. So it's a 2-degree different head tube from 69 to 71. And then it has a slightly longer top tube than the standard Fat Chance model. This Fat Chance has some cool story behind it also. It was built by a mechanic at West End, a bike shop in Houston that started in the late 80s. It was his custom build, his personal bike. And after a year or two, he sold it to the gentleman I bought the bike from in 92 or 93. And it is as it was built in the early 90s by the mechanic at West End, which is really cool. So this is not a catalog spec bike. It has some cool features that are different than you would have found in the catalog, and it has a really cool story behind it because of that. So let's take a deeper dive into this awesome thing. So first, it has this great green color. It really pops. The frame is overall in good condition. There's some paint chips where you'd expect, but no dents, no cracks. The chain is in good condition. And so overall, the frame is awesome. And if we start here at the seat post, we have an IRD seat post. We have a Fat City saddle, which is actually a specialized saddle, branded Fat City. I treated that with some leather treatment just to make sure it doesn't get any more crack anymore. 1 second. Okay, we're back. Sorry, the phone rang there. And then if we move up to the cockpit, it has a Ritchie Force stem, an Avocet computer. The wires were cut, so I have some of these Avocet computer parts. So my hope is I can get this back up and running because I really like the green because it goes with the green. So got to track down that box of computer parts so I can get that up and going. If we come around here, we'll see that it has Dior XT thumb shifters, Dicomp 183 levers. Now these levers had those grippy Scott brake lever, like grip tape kind of things that were green, but they were completely worn smooth. I have some, so I might put these on here, just kind of put it back to the way it would have been built. It has the Fat City Cycles handlebar. And then if we look down here, we have Suntour XCD front brakes. Now, you'll spy right here, it says Yeti. This is indeed a Yeti Accutrax fork that they put matching green Fat City decals on. Super cool. He was building it up in the early 90s to build what he thought was the best bike. And it's hard to deny that the Accutrax wasn't one of the best rigid forks of the era. Now, I did put Tanwall tires on it because I feel like Tanwalls are just more period correct. So these are old ground controls, and they're mounted up on some Ritchie Vantage Expert rims and Dior DX hubs. And now if we go to the crank, we have a Dior MT60 crankset, a Suntour XC9000 front derailleur, Anza clipless pedals. Now I will be replacing these with some Era Correct platform pedals because I don't ride clipped in and I don't have clips for the Onzas anyhow. And then for rear brakes, we're running Sun Tour self-energizing, but these are XC9000s. Again, we have the Dior DX rear hub laced to that Ritchie Vantage Expert rim. I realize I have the labels. I have to flip the front wheel because the label's on the wrong side. And again, I put a ground control in the back. Now you'll see right here, this is a really cool feature. This logo says Team West End. So just a really cool bit of, custom decal that was done 30 plus years ago when this bike was built up that I find really cool. A feature of the bike frame that I find cool is right in here, there's this little gusset between the seat stays, which I think is a cool feature to add some rigidity back here. Obviously, a really sleek arching cable stop. And now some specific frame features of Fat Chances is you'll notice here on the seat stays and on the change stays that they do not taper and get smaller where they were going to mount to the dropouts. They end and then they're coned to the dropouts. So that was a feature that Chris did because he liked how it added rigidity. And you'll also notice that there is no divots in his chain stays. He didn't believe in doing divots because they weakened the chain stays, so there's no divots. So if you find yourself a frame and you don't know what it is, those are two features you can use to identify if it may be a Fat Chance. So I plan to keep this bike as it is, other than switching out the pedals and fixing the computer. That's the plan of this one. And we're having really good weather here in Minnesota if you're not a snow person. So I should be able to get out and give this thing a spin, which I look forward to doing. And yeah, I'm just really excited to have a Fat Chance, especially one that has, a story to it. I mean, all bikes have stories to it, but this one has, we can kind of follow the story, which is cool. So I'm super excited. Thanks for tuning in on this quick episode of this tour of this 91 Wicked Fat Chance. Hopefully you have some cool bike projects going. And if you do need parts for those projects, make sure to check out our website, Gringineer Cycles. There'll be a link below. And have a great rest of your day. Bye.